Hi guys, my name is Chloe and today I'm going to be doing a book haul. So in the past couple of months I've hauled quite a lot of books, like so many much more in the past couple of months, like more so than I did over Christmas and in January. There are so many books here, but I think overall I only bought 8 of them at about full price. And then the rest of them I was either gifted or I found in charity shops. So most of these I was gifted or I got on a really good deal, and that's why I've hauled so many books. I'm trying not to buy too many more new books going forward, because I'm trying to prioritise books I already own and series I've already started. So fingers crossed I can stick to that in the future. But for now, these are all the books that I've bought in the past couple of months. So the first book I hauled was The Hatmakers by Tasman Merchant. I saw some hype of this on a couple of other booktube channels, and this one went half price on Amazon for the hardback, so I picked it up. This one is a middle grade, a fantasy. I don't know too much about the book, just that I've heard really good things about it, but I think it's about this family, or maybe this group of children, that make hats, and then depending on what hat you wear, that gives you different magical abilities. So the next book I got from a charity shop, and this is The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams. I know absolutely nothing about this book. I've just been enjoying my contemporary romances lately, and this one was really cheap. I think it was like 50p, so I picked it up. I know absolutely nothing about it, but reading the back just now, it looks like she has to choose between 3 different guys and see which one she wants to be with, so should be interesting. The next book I also got in the charity shop, and that was Meant to Be Immortal by Lynsay Sands. I know nothing about this. I just saw the blood and the like tubes on the front, and since I'm a scientist I was immediately drawn to that, and then I found out it's about vampires, and so I picked it up because I love vampires. I know absolutely nothing else about this book. Next I picked up Call Me By Your Name by Aciman, I think that's how you say that. I've only heard good things about this. I don't know what it's about. I know it's queer and it's contemporary, but I also just picked this one up because it was also really cheap. But yeah, I think it's a summer romance between these 2 guys, and I think it's a sad book. I don't think there's a happy ending, if I'm remembering the right one, but I'll give it a try. Next I hauled The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This is another contemporary romance. I just picked this one up whilst I was out shopping for my weekly shop, and I think we follow the main character in this one, and she needs a partner to take to her sister's wedding, and so I think she advertises for guys to fly over to America with her and accompany her to this wedding, and I'm guessing some sort of romance ensues from there. But I just picked this one up on a whim because I'm loving my romances and I'm hoping I enjoy this one. Next I picked up For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. I haven't read anything by this author before, but I have heard some good things about her previous works. This one is set in a school, and I think things start to go wrong. I think either pupils or teachers start to go missing, and I think there's some kind of murder. But yeah, it's a thriller, and I really enjoy most of the thrillers I pick up when I get to them because I don't read them too frequently, and this one just intrigued me by the brief synopsis on the back, and so I'm gonna give it a go. Next I picked up another thriller, and that was A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. I know nothing about this book, but I have picked this one up because of the author. I've read The Girl on the Train and, or what's it called? Into the Water. I've read both of those books by this author before, and I've really enjoyed them. So I picked this one up purely for the author, and I kind of don't want to know nothing about this, so I'm just going to give it a go. But this one should be a good read, I'm hoping. I haven't looked at any reviews yet, but because I've enjoyed her previous works, I've got my fingers crossed for this one. Next I've got another contemporary romance. I'm hoping I can read all of these, and I've got The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Don't know anything about this, but I went to the works and this was £3, so I picked it up. Apparently it's a TikTok favourite. I don't know, I don't use TikTok. But yeah, this is the copy I got, and it had this really hideous sticker on here because I think it's being adapted to Netflix, and it had like the Netflix logo on there, so I just went on Etsy and bought this cute little sticker. It's still a bit in your face, but not as much as the Netflix logo. But yeah, that's that one. Again, know nothing about it, I've just impulse bought something. So these next 3 books are Waterstones buys, and I got these for the last of my Christmas vouchers. So first I've got This Poison Heart by Kalynn Bayron. I have read Cinderella is Dead by this author before, and I did enjoy it. I think I gave it either 3 or 4 stars. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, but it was a really good retelling. And as with Cinderella is Dead, the cover art on her books are absolutely gorgeous. But I think if I remember correctly, this is kind of like a Secret Garden retelling. Yeah, and I think the main character has like these flower powers where she can make flowers or something, and now I'm just thinking of Encanto. But yeah, this is gorgeous and I enjoyed Cinderella is Dead, so that's why I picked it up. Next is Legendborn by Tracy Deon. I have heard amazing things about this book. This is a urban fantasy which is a retelling of the, I think it's Arthurian legends, like Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table or something like that. But I've heard really good things about this urban fantasy. I adore urban fantasies. I think I've heard a couple of people say this is kind of like Shadowhunters but better, and I really enjoy the Shadowhunters series, so I'm gonna see what I think of that. But yeah, I've only heard very good things about this, and I think we also either have some Welsh characters or this is set in Wales as well, and I don't think I've read anything off the top of my head set in Wales before, so I'm very excited to get to this one when I can. Next is another book that I got because I've heard so much hype about it, and this is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I think this is a young adult thriller, and we follow the main character who has inherited this house, I think from a billionaire. I think he's possibly family. So she goes to claim her fortune, but there are these other relatives that want the fortune, and so she has to, I think, complete a series of puzzles and stuff to get the fortune before the other family members can, and I think there's drama. But yeah, I've heard amazing things about this book, and I think it's a series as well, so if I enjoy this one then I will probably be picking up the others. So next I picked up One by One by Ruth Ware. This was also a charity shop buy. This one is another thriller, and I think we follow a group of colleagues on this company developing an app, and they go to stay in this house or this chalet up in the mountains in the wilderness, and then over time they start to be killed one by one. We don't know what's happening, who's killing them, and that's kind of like the mystery behind this book, I guess, is trying to work out who's killing these colleagues, if it's one of them, if it's an external, if it's someone outside of their group. But yeah, it's a thriller. I don't like to look too much into thrillers because I'd rather be shocked. But yeah, I've heard kind of mixed things about this one, so I'm kind of hesitant to read it, but it was really cheap, so I'm gonna give it a go. Next, I also got Messenger of Fear by Michael Grant, also from the charity shop. I have read some of the Gone series by this author before, and they were okay. I never finished it though because I thought it was just very mediocre. But this is another series, I think. I think there's a couple books in this series. And we follow a group of kids, I think, that have to undergo different challenges or trials. But yeah, on the back it just says, he is the messenger, he offers you a game, play or pay. And I really like games in books and stuff like that, so I saw that and I saw this gorgeous black, white and red cover and I grabbed it. Next I picked up a very well loved book, and this is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I did already own this one on Kindle, but I saw this one for £1 and I picked it up because I'm more inclined to pick up books that I physically own on my shelves versus ones that are on my Kindle, just because I'm trying to get through my physical TBR. So yeah, this is a well-known fantasy that I've never read before so far, and I think we follow Paige, who is a clairvoyant in this world, and being a clairvoyant is illegal. And that's kind of all I know about this book, really. It's a dystopian, I think, like a high dystopian. Yeah, it's set in the future, so it's dystopian. But yeah, I've heard amazing things about this series, and it's still ongoing. So I'm hoping I love this one. Next, I got a book that I have read before, and this is the X Hex by Erin Sterling. I read this one on Kindle not long after Halloween, and I loved it. It's cozy. It's a romance, a contemporary romance, but with a pinch of magic in there. It's kind of like Sabrina or Halloween Town levels of magic, where it's mostly set in a normal world, but you have these group of witches that can do different magic and stuff. And yeah, we follow our main character, who curses her ex in the bath drunkenly because she's annoyed. But then years later he comes back into her life and things start to go horribly wrong, and they have to solve some kind of curse. I think they have to break the curse because the town is in danger from it. And it was really nice. I loved the main character. There are certain scenes in a haunted house that I really liked, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm just glad to own a physical copy of this because I really loved it. Next, I've got another hyped book, and this is the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is the Waterstones edition with the gorgeous sprayed edges. I picked this one up mainly because of the hype, and then partly because of the beautiful edition, but it's also a dark academia, and every dark academia I've read I've really loved, so I really need to read more of them. But yeah, I don't know much about this. I think it's about a society, and there are 6 students trying to enroll into this society, but only 5 of them can be put forward for that, so one of them is going to be eliminated. And yeah, I think it just goes from there, and I'm really intrigued because it's adult, I think, if I remember correctly, so it might be quite dark and quite gritty in places, but all of the characters come from different academic backgrounds and stuff, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, and I think the second one is coming out soon, so if I enjoy this, then I will grab that one and carry on with the series. Next, I hauled an entire series, and this is the School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. I've probably butchered that, but I picked this one up on the recommendation of Vanda Silverscribe. I'm so sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. I can't pronounce names right. Not really on the recommendation of, but she was reading it, and I read the blurb and I thought it sounded amazing, and so I found the series for a really good deal and I picked them all up. So I really hope I like this one. This is about a world where every so often, or I think it's once a year, 2 kids will go missing, and one of them's enrolled into the school for good and one of them is enrolled into the school for evil. And we follow Sophie and Agatha, the 2 characters on the front, and Sophie is the pretty princess, sort of blonde hair, pink dresses kind of girl, and she ends up in the school for evil, and then Agatha ends up in the school for good, and it sort of goes from there, and that's all I know about it. It kind of reminds me of Disney Descendants, and I do really love those movies. So I'm hoping these will be really fun and entertaining, especially since I've got the whole set now, bar one. I think I'm missing book 6. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to getting into these. Next is a pre-order that I got, and this was Gallant by V.E. Scwab. Kind of an instant pre-order for me because this edition was gorgeous, but also it's V. Scwab. I've read the Darker Shades of Magic series by her and Addie LaRue and adored them, so I picked this one up, especially since this one was advertised as Crimson Peak mixed with The Secret Garden. I adored the Crimson Peak movie, and not just because Tom Hiddleston was in it, it was so dark and creepy and I loved the Victorian atmosphere and it was great. And so I just ordered this because it's beautiful and I was intrigued. So next, I was gifted Vicious by one of my friends, also by V. Scwab. This one has been on my Goodreads TBR since 2020 when I first started Goodreads. I was instantly intrigued. I've just never got around to purchasing this for myself, just because there was always something that I wanted more than this. But I have since started reading this. I'm about 100 pages in and it's so good. I'm so glad I finally own a copy, so thank you so much. I will probably be picking up the second one as soon as I finish this. I'll have to order that one as well. More books. But yeah, this one we follow two friends, Eli and Victor, and they're at university, and one of them comes up with the idea of researching into extraordinaries, which are almost like superheroes, these people with magical powers and abilities. The only clause is you have to die in order to become one of these. So these two plot how to kill each other and bring each other back so they can obtain these powers. And this one is set in a dual timeline, so that's really interesting as well. We get a bit in the past on how they got these powers, and then in the future after all of this went down. And it's V. Scwab again, so the writing is gorgeous and I can't wait to carry on with this one. And the last book in this haul is the Clockwork Girl by Anna Mazzola. I knew absolutely nothing about this book, but I saw it pop up on a Facebook group that I'm in, and yeah, I saw the Clockwork Girl and I instantly thought, oh, what's that? Because the Infernal Devices are one of my favourite series, and that's sort of a steampunk Victorian fantasy series kind of thing. So I looked into the blurb and I thought, oh, that kind of sounds intriguing. And it's also Waterstones, so the edition was gorgeous, and so I pre-ordered this. But yeah, in this one we follow Madeline as she works alongside this clockmaker, I think, but he has some dark past, or there's something to uncover and some secrets to reveal. But honestly, I just saw the Victorian setting and clockwork in the title and I picked it up, so I will let you know once I've read it. So those are all the books that I've read recently. That was 24 books, so a bit more than last time. There probably won't be another book haul for a while, just because I am trying to buy less books apart from my monthly Fairy Loot books or books coming in on pre-orders. But yeah, we'll see. If I see something that I like, I'm probably going to pick it up still, but I really want to try and focus on my owned TBR. But we'll see. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were. I'd love to know, because it will make me want to pick them up even sooner. But that's it, and until the next time, bye!